frozen shut. I say that with the weather and everything. What's going on with the MLB and this shutdown? This has been over a month now, and this is all on Rob Manfred. This is fair to say. I mean, he's behind all this. This didn't have to happen, but for baseball fans out there, we want baseball. You have all of these different free agency signings. You have all these guys, a few have retired, whatever, right? We want some baseball. But here's the thing. We're not in baseball season yet. We just started the new year. So I mean, it's not like we've been missing games or whatever, but this is ridiculous. The big question is, are we going to have baseball? And quite honestly, if you ask me, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised because I don't think Rob Manfred, look, I don't want to sit here and say that he doesn't want to have baseball for us baseball fans. But this has to do with kind of the Players Association, the PA, and it's crazy. You know, so it basically, so it says the Atlanta Braves are World Series champions. We know that. And now baseball is in the middle of its first work stoppage since the 1994-95 strike, right? So what is all of this? I mean, I'm going to be honest. I have a hard time figuring all of this out, but it's basically a work stoppage. So I guess what that's telling me is that nobody's working. If a work stoppage means nobody's working, right? They're basically going on strike. But it's the first lockout of the players since 1990. You can have a lockout where the organizations aren't doing anything, but the fact that the players are striking, like there's been lockouts where the players never went on strike. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, they're frozen shut right now. It is so crazy. Will makes a good point, though. For all you Braves fans, you will remain champions for another year unless they do come to their senses and they do lift this. But so it's basically, and there's a Wikipedia page. I know you can't always trust it, but I'm just going to quote from it anyway. But I would assume this all pretty much makes sense. But it says many MLB teams fearing the freeze and contract signings that would arise in a lockout. Basically what we have now. Scramble to sign prominent free agents at the end of November, like a month removed or a month and a half removed from the end of the season. More than $1.9 billion in new contracts were signed during the free agency period before the lockout, including a one-day record of $1.4 billion in contracts signed on December 1st. But it was at 10 a.m. Central Time, counting 11 Eastern, November 30th, 2021, one day before the CBA was set to expire. The MLB Players Association made its economic proposal to the MLB at the Four Seasons Hotel at Irving, Texas. So I don't know if they had like a conference going on or if they just met there. I don't know. But basically, here's part of it. The union rejected the league's proposal to drop certain demands, right? Including alterations to the free agency process. Negotiations came to a halt when the league representatives Dan Halem and Richard Montfort left the hotel. That evening, MLB owners voted anonymously, I don't know that word, to enact a lockout upon the expiration of the 2016 CBA. So I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of confused on this, but what I get out of this is that, they basically try to sign, basically a lockout means you can't have an off season. You cannot sign free agents, right? So in fear of that, at the end of November, there were a lot of different negotiations with players. There were signings. There was a lot going on. So I think I'm starting to understand it a little more. I knew it had to do with the free agency in a way. But I think it's ridiculous. But also now it's gotten to the point where they're carrying on with it. And by the way, just so we're clear, this has nothing to do with the new variant or COVID. This is MLB. This has nothing to do with COVID. This is not like 2020 where we didn't know if we were going to have sports. We're dealing with the pandemic. We don't know what to do. No, this is straight up ice cold. And I like how I put this at the bottom, frozen shut, right? I mean, it is just, first off, it's winter time anyway. I figured I'd get a pun in there. But yes, the MLB is on lockdown. They're on lockdown and they got to lock out. So basically what it is that, you can't do anything. You cannot, I don't think they're even practicing right now. They're not trying to get ready for spring training. They're trying to figure out if they're going to even have that. This is insane. I say give us some baseball. Or whatever's going on, it's crazy. Neo says this kind of thing seems to be getting more common. Disagreements walk out. And not even just baseball, just in all, pro sports. But I think it started with, opting out and quitting. Oh, I don't want to play in this game because I don't want to get sick from COVID or I don't want to get hurt. Oh, we got to cancel this game because we had one player test positive. Now, again, this lockout really doesn't have to do with COVID. But it does mean that there's some issues going on in the sports to which a player, or in this case, players can't play or most likely won't play. There is still a possibility maybe they do get this taken care of in time. I mean, because we still got maybe a month and a half until spring training at the end of February. It's possible they get this done on time. It's possible that they pick this up, right? It started back on December 2nd, right? And the article that I'm showing you is from Dane Perry. I want to credit sources here. And again, I put the link in the description or in the comments if you want to go check it out. Check it out. Right? It talks about that it should be heating up this month. Big negotiations. Give it some time in January, right? The quote that he put in there was, given that the average player's salary has declined in the face of ever-soaring franchise values, the union wants to remake the economic structure of the game. This is all monopoly and money is what this is, right? And I think what I got out of it, at least, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, but overall, and I want to hear from you guys in the comments, obviously. And again, I'm not, this is the 360 show. I don't want to let anybody on, but if you ever want to be a guest, email me. Bottom line is this, what I got out of it. If we get into the first or second week of the month of February, we're talking about a month from now, if not 5 weeks. If we get there and there's not a deal for these players, right, contracts or getting what they want or anything, I think spring training could be a jeopardy and probably the whole MLB season. And again, this is not a COVID relation issue. This is all about business. This is crisis, business crisis. Business tanking, business, economic, money, whatever for the MLB. That's what this is about, people. Things are heating up for baseball, but not in a good way. I was looking forward to had so much football going on, and football's my number one sport anyway, and that's what this community is built on. But dang it, I played baseball growing up. I played in Little League. I did T-ball. I wasn't the best at it, but I had fun. I love watching baseball. I got a baseball glove for Christmas. I got baseballs this year, right? I don't have anyone to throw to, but sometimes I'll just kind of sit on my bed and throw it up in the air and try to catch it. I love baseball to death. A lot of people do. It's America's pastime. But it could be in jeopardy here. It really could.